In the 1980s, Huey Lewis and the News reigned supreme. The group's poppy, sharp rock and Lewis's distinctive vocal style earned them several platinum albums and a string of hits that still haunt the radio. Lewis also wrote some iconic soundtracks for 1985's Back to the Future, The Power of Love, and so on. With such a successful career, he, like many other musicians, his wealth and fame gave him lots of tragedy. 1. Hugh Anthony Gregg III is Huey Lewis's real name. He was born in New York City in 1950, the son of a jazz drummer and a commercial artist. His family relocated to Marin County, San Francisco's Bohemian Art District, when he was 4 years old. Unfortunately, the family's happy life did not last long, as his parents divorced when he was young. 2. According to Jill Kramer, he revealed that his father wanted to send him to prep school while his mother did not. Lewis's decision to attend prep school at the end because his dad had given him the catalog that had a picture of the gorgeous quad with ivy-covered buildings and big trees and a guy crossing the quad with a gal. Unfortunately, the pretty lady in the catalog turned out to be a marketing trick, and the young man ended up spending 4 years in a school full of other biffs. 3. According to Jill Kramer, Huey Lewis took a year off before starting college in 1968 to travel the world. It caused him so much trouble that he still thinks about it more than 3 decades later. According to Woodstock, Lewis had long hair, which was a bad thing in Spain. His hitchhiking attempts were futile, and the only people who would pick him up were German tourists. Not only that, Lewis was pickpocketed after returning from Morocco and losing his passport. Fortunately, he was helped by a group of art students in Seville who were so impressed with his harmonica skills. They even connected him with a guitarist and performed a large concert. 4. Nobody could deny Huey Lewis and the News' popularity in the 1980s. In the early 80s, they were approached by an unknown soft drink company called Coca-Cola to appear in their advertisements, but Lewis declined the offer. If you're wondering why Coke contacted Huey Lewis when their competition was Michael Jackson, it's because he had the highest Q score, consumer attraction score, of anyone in the United States at the time. 5. According to Rolling Stone, Huey Lewis suddenly lost hearing in his right ear in 1987. He was at the pinnacle of his career at the time, and hearing was regarded as extremely important for a musician. He was eventually diagnosed with Meniere's disease, an inner ear disorder. No medical professional could cure this disease, and Lewis was advised to accept it as his only option. Lewis discovered that great musicians, such as Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, also operated with a similar oral arsenal. Lewis adjusted and continued his musical affair as a result. Unfortunately, his hearing problems don't end there. 6. In 2000, Bret Easton Ellis's film American Psycho was released, depicting Patrick Bateman's love for Huey Lewis and the News. Lewis, on the other hand, boycotted the film. The boycott arose when he decided to remove Hip to Be Square from the soundtrack album for reasons unrelated to the film. According to the film's producers, he removed it because he was disgusted by the film's violence. 7. According to Mental Floss and Ledger Note, Ray Parker Jr. was given the opportunity to write the title track Ghostbusters after Lindsey Buckingham and Huey Lewis declined, but Lewis's lawyers were knocking on Parker's door. According to Billboard, Parker's cult hit with Huey Lewis and the News' I Want a New Drug, which debuted just a few months earlier. The dispute was eventually resolved outside of court. 8. Huey Lewis divorced his wife after they had 2 children, according to the Los Angeles Times. Lewis revealed with golf magazine Kingdom that they married in Hawaii in 1983, but their marriage lasted only 6 years. He said he met his wife in the late 1970s, when she was the secretary to his future manager, Bob Brown. He admits that during the peak years of Huey Lewis and the News, he traveled extensively. It was mainly hard on my wife because she had to take care of everything. 9. Lewis had a small ditch that locals considered as a spring. Montana's stream access laws allow anglers free access to large bodies of water. Lewis did not want people fishing in his ditch. People, on the other hand, did not want Lewis to prevent them from fishing. Lewis has prevailed in the case. However, it was finally brought to the Montana Supreme Court after 20 years, and his ditch was decided to be open to the public. 10. Huey Lewis had to deal with hearing loss again in early 2018, and things became even more difficult. According to Rolling Stone, Lewis was performing in Dallas when his hearing suddenly went bad. During the performance, he couldn't even hear himself speak. Lewis began to seek medical attention for his condition once more. But it's all in vain. Lewis's ability to listen to music was severely hampered by this condition. He was unable to tour due to frequent hearing loss. 11. According to the Los Angeles Times, Huey Lewis fell into obscurity after losing his hearing for the second time in 2018. Despite the fact he was not deaf, the condition impaired his ability to perform. Lewis even thought, "There was nothing I could do. I'd just lay in bed and contemplate my demise." Fortunately, the male singer has learned to adapt his circumstances. He investigates treatments that may help restore his hearing on a regular basis, but he also accepts that this may never happen.